Level 1. Item Summoning. Item summoning is a cool and super useful jutsu that works through a special sealing technique. Basically, a ninja can store tons of weapons inside small paper scrolls, or even just a strip of cloth wrapped around their wrist. When it's time to fight, with just a quick flick, the entire arsenal appears instantly. This gives the ninja a massive tactical advantage that's really hard to counter. Take Tenten, for example. She's absolutely one of the best at using this technique. In her fight against Temari during the Chunin Exams, she literally turned herself into a human weapon launcher. Kunai, shuriken, iron rods, scythes, and even huge iron balls came flying out non-stop, creating a terrifying storm of steel. That's the true power of turning limited space into unlimited resources. Sasuke also showed how deadly this jutsu can be. He combined item summoning with his shuriken, letting him summon shuriken from his wrist in an instant, then control them with crazy precision. This combo turns basic attacks into unpredictable killing moves. But the real strength of level 1 isn't just about how many weapons you can summon, it's also about surprise and flexibility. The enemy has no idea what weapon you'll summon, how many, or from where. That's exactly why even powerful ninjas like Hashirama never underestimate this jutsu. Still, just like any other technique, item summoning has its clear limits. It depends totally on the user's strategy and timing. If you're up against someone with strong defense, like Temari and her massive wind fan, the effect drops a lot. That's also why level 1 is usually more useful in Genin or Chunin level battles. Level 2. Summoning creatures. If level 1 amazed you with a rain of weapons, then level 2 will definitely blow your mind with living creatures being summoned to the battlefield. This is a major upgrade in summoning arts. Ninjas are no longer limited to lifeless objects. Now, they can call out creatures that move and fight on their own. The biggest difference with level 2 is that it's active and alive. Unlike kunai or shuriken that just fly in one direction, these creatures can move by themselves, change attack patterns, and even chase down targets. For example, Sasuke summoned Garuda, a powerful bird that could support him mid-battle. Itachi, on the other hand, used flocks of crows in a totally different way. His crows became tools for deadly genjutsu, creating sudden, confusing illusions that left enemies totally lost. Oh, and let's not forget, he had one special crow carrying Shisui's legendary eye inside it. Orochimaru turned this level into pure horror. His poisonous snakes weren't just creepy, they were deadly assassins. At one point, he even summoned an entire wall of wriggling snakes to attack Naruto when he was in Four Tails mode. Nightmare fuel, honestly. Then there's Kitamaru, who showed that size doesn't always matter. He dropped a ton of tiny spiders from above, creating a huge web trap. It forced Neji to use kaiten just to break free. Otherwise, he'd be totally caught. But the most terrifying summon of all? That's gotta be Kisame's sharks. In water, Kisame was absolutely unbeatable. His sharks moved fast, attacked hard, and turned every drop of water into a battlefield of death. It was honestly terrifying. Still, level 2 has its clear limits. Most of these creatures only follow simple commands or instincts. They're not great at handling complex strategies. Against skilled defenders like Neji with the Byakugan, or against high-level jutsu, their effectiveness drops noticeably. But don't underestimate level 2. These creatures can easily mess with your mind and throw off your rhythm. They're simple, but always effective. And if these small animals can already bring so much power, just imagine what happens when a ninja summons an actual warrior, one who can think, talk, and fight with full intelligence. Level 3. Summoning Battle Beasts. Welcome to Level 3, the point where summoning starts to get seriously scary. If Level 2 was just about birds or snakes acting on instinct, then Level 3 is a whole different game. Now we're talking about real warriors, smart, loyal, and sometimes even sassy enough to argue with their own summoner. Just look at Kakashi's ninja dogs, the Ninken. Pakun and his crew are definitely not your average puppies. These are trained four-legged ninjas who can actually talk, sniff out enemies, and fight like a squad of professionals. Remember the fight with Zabuza? The whole place was covered in thick mist, so no one could see anything. But Kakashi's dogs used their amazing sense of smell to track Zabuza down. Pakun called out the location, and the others instantly brutally pin Zabuza down by biting his arms and legs, turning the scary assassin into a sitting duck. Brutal, but clean. Jiraiya also showed us how powerful level 3 can be. He summoned little frogs like Gamatotsu, and yeah, they look small and kinda goofy, but don't be fooled. This tiny frog can spit oil with crazy accuracy. When Jiraiya mixed that oil with his fire-style jutsu, boom, the flames went wild, burning everything in their way. This is what makes level 3 so different. It's all about teamwork and real strategy, not just throwing out monsters and hoping for the best. The coolest part of these mid-level summons is their intelligence and unique personalities. They're not just tools, they're teammates. That's why you usually only see elite ninjas using them. But level 3 still has its limits. These summons are amazing at support, scouting, or disabling enemies, but they can't really go 1 versus 1 with top-tier bosses. They help boost their summoner's power, but they're not game changers on their own. At the end of the day, level 3 summons are like turning one ninja into a mini strike team. And if tiny dogs and baby frogs can help that much, just imagine what happens when a ninja summons a giant beast strong enough to crush an army. Level 4, Mid-Tier Battle Beasts. Now we're entering level 4, the stage where summoning starts showing its destructive power. This is the level top-tier ninjas use to prove they're not playing around. The creatures summoned here are huge, dangerous, and totally capable of changing the flow of a battle. Let's start with Enma, the legendary Monkey King, summoned by the third Hokage, Hiruzen. Okay, Enma isn't super big like some others, but this guy is absolutely a warrior. He has decades of battle experience, and his main ability? He can transform into the adamantine staff, a super hard, diamond-like weapon that can grow, shrink, and move on its own. This staff isn't just a tool, it literally thinks and fights alongside Hiruzen. During the massive battle with Orochimaru, Enma held his own against the deadly Kusanagi sword and 2 reanimated Hokage. That's insane. Then we've got Temari's summon, Kamaitachi, a huge weasel with a blade for a tail. When Temari swings her fan, Kamaitachi unleashes razor-sharp winds that can literally slice through forests. This combo was so deadly, they took out Tayuya in one single blow. That's some next-level teamwork right there. Hanzo and his salamander Ibusi showed another side of level 4, battlefield control. Ibuse can release toxic gas that paralyzes entire squads within seconds. Even skilled fighters turn completely helpless once that poison hits. It's not flashy, but super effective. What really makes level 4 special is this: these summons can act independently. They're not just backup, they can lead the fight and make game-changing moves on their own. They have enough raw power to take on some of the strongest ninjas head-on. Of course, level 4 isn't unstoppable. When you're up against god-tier stuff like tailed beasts or forbidden jutsu, even these summons hit their limits. But in most battles, this is as strong as it gets for regular shinobi. It's the sweet spot where brains, brawn, and summoning magic all come together. Level 5, Giant Summoning Beasts. We've finally reached the top of the summoning world, level 5, where massive, mountain-sized monsters appear and completely change the game. This level is only for legendary ninjas, the Hokage, the Sannin, or someone like Pain, not your average shinobi. Take Manda, Orochimaru's giant snake. This beast is hundreds of meters long and has crazy physical power. It can crush buildings, wrap around enemies, and basically destroy everything in its path. In the legendary Sannin battle, Manda went head-to-head with Gamabunta and Katsuyu, creating one of the most epic fights in the entire series. And don't forget, Manda has a nasty attitude. He doesn't blindly follow orders and will totally snap at his summoner if he's not happy. Then there's Gamakichi, Naruto's massive toad. He shows another side of level 5, a perfect mix of size, power, and skill. Not only is he huge, but he's also surprisingly good with swordsmanship and powerful jutsu, even Sage Mode. He literally went one-on-one with a full-form One-Tail and held his own. On the other hand, Lady Katsuyu, summoned by Tsunade, proves that level 5 isn't all about destruction. She can split into thousands of mini-slugs, each able to heal injuries, deliver chakra, and protect people across a wide area. During Pain's attack on Konoha, Katsuyu literally saved the village by keeping everyone alive. She's more like a guardian angel than a monster. Now let's talk about Pain, the king of chaos. He summoned a whole zoo of giant beasts, and they were terrifying. There was a rhino that smashed through buildings, multi-headed dogs that kept respawning, and a giant bird that launched airstrikes from above. Within minutes, Konoha looked like a pile of rubble. It was absolutely devastating. What makes level 5 truly scary is its ability to change the scale of a battle. Once these giant creatures show up, normal ninja tactics just don't work anymore. You either bring out something equally powerful or run like crazy and try to survive. But even level 5 isn't the end. There are still creatures out there that go beyond even these monsters. Stronger, bigger, and way more terrifying. Level 6 Supernatural Summons. Now we've entered a completely different level, level 6. This is where summoning goes beyond normal creatures, reaching into the realm of supernatural beings and structures with godlike power. Only legendary ninjas can even think about using these summons. At this point, you're not just summoning animals, you're calling in monsters that can fight tailed beasts head-on. Take the five-fold Rashomon gates, for example. These are 5 massive gates that rise up like mountains. Each one is insanely durable, strong enough to block a direct attack from the Nine Tails combined with Susanoo. Yeah, that kind of combo would level a city, but the gates literally stood their ground. That's peak defense. Then there's the Gato statue, or the Outer Path Golem. When Nagato summoned this giant in his fight with Hanzo, it instantly sucked the souls out of an entire army. This statue is actually the shell of the Ten Tails, so its power is almost limitless. It can absorb chakra from every living thing nearby. Later, Obito used it to fight the entire allied shinobi forces by himself. And yeah, he kinda bullied them with just that one summon. Brutal stuff. What makes level 6 so scary is how unreal these things are. Unlike regular summons that you can hit or fight back, these beings are almost impossible to damage with normal attacks. They're more like ancient forces than living creatures. The impact of a level 6 summon on the battlefield is completely different from anything we've seen before. This isn't just power anymore. This is warping reality. Level 7 Forbidden Summons, when ninja break the rules of nature. We've now entered a terrifying new level, level 7. This is where the line between life and death is completely erased. Only the strongest, or most dangerous ninja dare to go here. Because at this point, summoning means calling back souls from the dead, using forbidden jutsu that literally mess with the laws of the universe. The most famous example? Edo Tensei, Reanimation Jutsu. This jutsu brings back dead ninjas in their original bodies, with all their powers intact. Kabuto pushed this to the extreme. He reanimated an entire army, Madara Uchiha, past Kage, legendary warriors. And they didn't just come back, they came back stronger, spamming jutsu and absolutely clapping the current generation like it was nothing. The scariest part of Edo Tensei is the true immortality. These revived shinobi can regenerate endlessly, no matter how badly they're damaged. They don't feel pain, they don't get tired, and they fight without holding back. When Madara was revived, he soloed the allied shinobi forces and basically became unstoppable. That's not a fight, that's a disaster in motion. And then, we have the Reaper Death Seal. This doesn't summon a person, it summons a god, the Shinigami, the literal god of death. This jutsu is a last resort, used by ninja who are willing to sacrifice everything. Once the Shinigami is called, it can seal away any soul. Tailed beast, legendary ninja, doesn't matter. But the cost is brutal. The user's soul gets taken too. So yeah, it's insanely powerful, but also a guaranteed death sentence. Level 7 changed the entire way battles worked in Naruto. Once these forbidden summons show up, normal strength means nothing. You need special strategies just to survive, whether it's dealing with immortal enemies or avoiding the grip of a literal death god. But even at the edge of life and death, level 7 still isn't the final limit of summoning. So the real question is, can you guess what the ultimate level looks like? Level 8, God Tier Summoning. Kaguya's Dimensional Power. Here it is, Level 8, the absolute peak of summoning jutsu. And guess what? Only one being in the entire Naruto world has ever done it. Kaguya Otsutsuki, the goddess of chakra. Forget everything you know about summoning. Kaguya doesn't call animals. She doesn't summon death gods. She is a god, and she summons entire dimensions. Her technique, Amenominaka, lets her instantly switch between 6 different dimensions. Each one is insanely dangerous. A burning desert, a freezing wasteland, an acid ocean, a gravity zone that crushes everything, and more. Imagine fighting her. 1 second you're on solid ground, the next you're falling into boiling lava. In the gravity realm, ninjas are almost completely frozen, perfect targets for her deadly attacks. The scariest part of a Menominaka? Total control. Kaguya controls the rules of the fight. She changes the battlefield whenever she wants, turning each dimension into a new weapon. Every shift forces her enemies to adapt instantly, or die trying. This power needs a near infinite amount of chakra, something only the chakra goddess herself could have. Kaguya didn't fight inside the ninja world. She made her own world to fight in. Even Naruto and Sasuke, with their full 6 paths powers, could barely survive. They only stood a chance because they worked together perfectly, and got a little lucky. That's why level 8 sits at the very top of the summoning system. It's not just about strength anymore. It's about rewriting reality to fit your will. Amenominaka proves that in the ninja world, there are powers far beyond anything human. Kaimen. This is the very first gate in the 8 inner gate system, the Gate of Opening. It's not just a regular ninja technique. It's honestly a super cool idea that even connects with modern neuroscience. In Naruto, the Gate of Opening is located on the left side of the brain. Well, Kishimoto actually thought it through quite a bit. In science, the left brain is known for controlling logic, language, and organized thinking. But more importantly, it's where the brain's natural safety brakes are. Did you know? Most people only use about 30% of their real physical strength at most. That's because the brain constantly sends signals to hold you back, just to protect your muscles and bones from injury. But sometimes, in life or death moments, these brakes get turned off. One famous real-life case happened in 1982. A mom named Angela Cavallo saw her son trapped under a car while he was fixing it. No one else was around, and the car was crushing him. In a crazy moment of desperation, Angela, a regular middle-aged woman, somehow lifted the entire car just enough for the neighbors to pull her son out. She couldn't lift it again afterward. This kind of moment is known as an adrenaline surge, when your brain temporarily removes all limits to help you survive. The 8 gates work kinda like that, but way more controlled. A ninja trains to break past those limits and activate superhuman strength whenever they want, not just in panic mode. When a ninja opens the first gate, they remove mental blocks like fear, self-doubt, and hesitation. This unlocks a rush of hormones like adrenaline and norepinephrine, the stuff your body releases when it's under stress. The result? Their reaction speed jumps up because signals travel faster in the nerves. Their strength increases because the muscles contract more powerfully, and their focus improves since the mind clears out all the negative thoughts. This gate can actually open by accident in super intense situations. One great example is Kakashi. He once accidentally activated the Gate of Opening while climbing a mountain with just one hand. That perfectly shows how this gate connects to the body's natural emergency system. Honestly, maybe that mom Angela Cavallo we mentioned earlier also unknowingly opened this gate too. This is also why the Gate of Opening is considered the safest gate out of all 8 inner gates. It only uses the strength that your body already has, the kind you could naturally use in life or death moments. In Naruto, the most famous move tied to this gate is the Front Lotus, a flashy and intense move that Rock Lee used to amaze everyone in his fight with Gaara. First, Lee kicks the opponent high into the air with a powerful strike. Then, he follows them up, using the bandages on his arms to wrap them up tightly. Finally, he starts spinning at super high speed to build centrifugal force, before slamming the opponent straight into the ground. But here's the thing, that crazy spinning speed can actually make the opponent fly off, so Lee needs a kind of safety rope to keep the move under control. After using the front lotus, the user becomes super tired and wide open for counterattacks. That's why Might Guy told Lee to never use this move, unless it was for something truly important, because it takes a heavy toll on the body. There's a fun little detail in the anime. Later on, Lee manages to use front lotus without putting so much strain on himself. That totally fits the theory that once your body gets used to a certain level of stress, it adapts and no longer treats it as something too extreme. The gate of opening is the first step on the journey to unlock your true potential. It shows us that the biggest limits in life are often in our own minds. But once you break past your mental limits, your body needs a way to keep up with that new power. And that's exactly where the second gate comes in. Kyumon. If the first gate is all about breaking mental limits, then the second gate focuses on something just as important, healing and recovery. Kyumon, or the gate of healing, is located on the right side of the brain. This part of the brain controls physical movement, emotions, and the body's natural recovery systems. When a ninja opens the second gate, they trigger a really powerful process we can call regenerative overdrive. Basically, the body starts rapidly producing more ATP. That's the main energy fuel for your cells. At the same time, it also speeds up the removal of lactic acid and other waste that builds up in the muscles. That's why this gate helps the ninja recover super fast, even if they were already exhausted. In real life, our bodies also have built-in healing systems. For example, when we sleep, the brain activates something called the glymphatic system, which cleans out harmful proteins and recharges energy. The gate of healing works kind of like that, but while you're still awake, which makes it feel almost unnatural, like a cheat code for recovery. What's interesting is that this gate doesn't have a flashy technique like the front lotus from the first gate. Instead, it works more like a booster system that powers up your whole body and lets you fight harder for longer. That's why Rock Lee often uses the gate of healing as a setup move, to get ready for more complex and high-level techniques. From a strategy point of view, the gate of healing shows off the sustainable combat style of taijutsu. Unlike ninjutsu or genjutsu, which can sometimes end a fight with just one move, taijutsu is all about endurance and being able to fight at full power for a long time. And the gate of healing is exactly what makes that possible. Now, in the Naruto world, we don't fully know the side effects of this gate. It's still kind of a mystery, but based on real biology, forcing your body to recover that quickly would probably burn through your long-term energy reserves. It's like drinking tons of energy drinks to pull an all-nighter. Sure, you feel awake for a while, but you'll definitely crash hard afterward. Still, if the gate of healing is the key to surviving long fights, then the next gate takes us somewhere completely different, a place where power and speed hit superhuman levels, and the risks start getting real. Let's move on to Simon. The third gate, Simon, or the Gate of Life, is located at the top of the spine. And honestly, this is where everything starts to get serious in battle. Biologically, when the Gate of Life is opened, the ninja's blood circulation increases massively. Blood gets pumped at super high speed and pressure, way beyond normal. This makes the user's skin turn bright red, almost like they're glowing. Their veins bulge, their hair stands on end from the crazy energy, and even their pupils disappear. All signs that the body is pushing itself way past its natural limits. The true strength of the Gate of Life is in how it boosts speed and reflexes to nearly superhuman levels. At this stage, the user can move so fast that even elite ninja can barely keep up. But of course, there's a price. Once the gate closes, the body will be completely drained. The user might pass out or even collapse from exhaustion. It's a huge risk. Interestingly, the Gate of Life is seen as the line between dangerous and still manageable in the 8-gate system. The next gate will push everything even further into a place where power and pain go hand in hand. Shoman. The fourth gate, Shoman, or the Gate of Pain, is located lower down along the spine. This is the point where the 8-gate system shifts, from just boosting power to actually damaging the body. The name says it all, Gate of Pain. When this gate is opened, the muscle fibers literally start tearing apart because they can't handle the insane pressure. Tiny blood vessels burst, and the user may start bleeding from the nose or even the mouth. These are clear warning signs that the body is getting seriously hurt on the inside. Unlike the earlier gates that just made you tired, this one actually begins to break your body down. Still, the power it gives is absolutely terrifying. When paired with the gate of pain, the reverse lotus becomes even more brutal. It's not just faster, it hits way harder, strong enough to break through powerful and even flexible defenses. We saw this during Rock Lee's fight with Gaara. Thanks to the power of the fourth gate, Lee's reverse lotus was finally able to smash through Gaara's sand armor. And for the first time in the battle, Lee actually did real damage to him. One small detail worth noting: Lee's nosebleed when he opened the gate of pain wasn't just for dramatic effect. It was a very real sign that his body was already breaking down from the inside. That blood is the body's way of saying, you've gone too far. From this point on, every second you keep the gate open could cause permanent damage. Tomon, or the gate of limit, is located around the lower back, along the lumbar spine. This gate isn't just another power boost. It marks the thin, dangerous line between greatness and destruction. When this gate is opened, the body's muscles contract explosively, way beyond what a normal human could handle. The circulatory system goes into overdrive, pumping blood at an insane speed to bring more oxygen to the body's overloaded organs and muscles. This creates a massive burst of energy, but also puts the body on the edge of total collapse. This gate is not meant for long fights. It's designed for one final decisive attack, a moment to risk everything. That's why Rock Lee used this gate to perform the final strike of the reverse lotus, a move that demands so much strength from the user. When Lee opened the gate of limit, his speed and power skyrocketed, completely overwhelming Gaara's automatic sand defense, something no one had ever broken through before. The speed and intensity of Lee's aerial attacks left the entire arena absolutely shocked. For the first time, a Genin, the lowest ninja rank, had pushed someone as powerful as Gaara to the edge of defeat, but the cost was devastating. Right after the attack, Lee suffered severe bone fractures in both his arms and legs. These weren't just simple breaks, they were compound fractures, where the bones literally pierced through the skin. Worse, some bone fragments even got stuck near his spinal cord. This kind of injury nearly ended his career as a ninja. Well, all that was only because Lee was still young. Later, after the time skip, and during the Fourth Great Ninja War, he was able to open up to the sixth gate without facing huge pressure or serious injuries like before. Kaiman. The sixth gate, Kaiman, or the Gate of View, is located around the stomach area, along the spine. Biologically, the Gate of View acts like a full-body turbo system. When activated, it synchronizes every system in the body. The circulatory system gets maxed out. The heart starts pumping at an unbelievable rate to send oxygen-rich blood to every single cell. At the same time, the central nervous system is heavily stimulated, which dramatically boosts reflexes and reaction speed. Together, this creates a state where the user moves so fast and processes information so quickly, it literally feels like time slows down. Mechanically, it works just like gates 2 through 5, just much stronger. The most obvious sign of this gate's power is the appearance of a green aura that surrounds the user's entire body. This glowing energy is so dense, it can physically push away things around it. Even water gets blown back when the user stands still. This is the first gate in the whole 8-gate system that visibly alters the environment, and it makes the user look absolutely unstoppable. The signature move of this gate is the Morning Peacock, a stunning example of high-speed taijutsu. The move works by throwing punches at incredible speeds, so fast that the air friction causes fire. The result is a giant fan-shaped explosion of flames, like the tail of a peacock that rains down on the enemy. The heat is so intense, it can evaporate hundreds of Kisame's water sharks in a matter of seconds. Kyomon. The 7th gate in the 8-gate system is the Gate of Wonder, or Kyomon in Japanese. And let's be real, at this point, we're entering territory that only the most insane ninja would ever dare to reach. This gate is located just below the stomach, along the spine. When it's opened, it causes an extreme biological reaction inside the body. The metabolism speeds up wildly, raising the body's temperature to dangerous levels. The user starts sweating a bright blue liquid, which instantly evaporates into mist, creating a glowing steam cloud around their body. It looks so intense that some people might actually mistake it for pure chakra. Physically, the Gate of Wonder pushes every system in the body into extreme overdrive. The circulatory system has to pump blood at insanely high pressure. The heart beats hundreds of times per minute. The nervous system goes into overdrive, sending electrical signals so fast that reaction time becomes superhuman. But of course, all that power comes with a brutal cost. The muscle fibers start tearing at the microscopic level, and even simple physical contact causes intense, unbearable pain. This gate is called Wonder for a reason. It's a stage of power that feels almost mythical, but one wrong move, and your body might completely fall apart. The signature move of the Gate of Wonder is called Daytime Tiger, and it's honestly a total game changer in the world of taijutsu. Unlike earlier moves that needed direct contact, Daytime Tiger is a long-range attack that relies purely on physical strength. No chakra tricks, just raw, explosive power. Here's how it works. The user compresses air into a single point using a powerful punch, then releases it in the shape of a roaring tiger. The shockwave it creates is insanely strong. It can cause massive explosions that you can feel from really far away. We saw just how powerful this technique is when Might Guy used it against Kisame Hoshigaki, who was fused with Samihara at the time. Kisame is one of the most dangerous close-range fighters ever, with a huge amount of chakra and the ability to absorb energy from his enemies. He was seen as almost unstoppable. But when Guy unleashed Daytime Tiger, it took just one hit to completely shut Kisame down. That attack overpowered even an elite Akatsuki member, proving that there really are limits, even for monsters like him. Shaimen. The eighth and final gate in the 8-gate system is the Gate of Death, or Shaimen in Japanese. This gate represents the absolute peak of what a human body can do in the Naruto world. Unlike the previous 7 gates, which slowly remove the body's natural limits, the Gate of Death completely destroys all biological restraints. To activate it, the user stabs their thumb into their chest, and the heart begins to pump blood at its absolute max. The result is a flow of energy that's said to be 100 times stronger than normal. When Might Guy opened this gate, he became stronger than all 5 Kage combined. Normally, the human body has natural brakes to stop itself from using too much energy. But the Gate of Death removes those brakes entirely, forcing the body to run at 100% full power, non-stop. The cost? Blood begins to boil and evaporate, escaping through the skin as a red mist known as the steam of blood. This mist surrounds the user like a fiery aura. It's literally cooked blood. The body's temperature rises so insanely high that it actually starts to cook itself from the inside. In the end, the user's body may burn out completely and turn to ash. But with that terrifying power comes 2 forbidden techniques, moves that push taijutsu beyond anything we've ever seen. The first is Evening Elephant, a combo of 5 brutal punches, each one stronger than the last. These punches create shockwaves shaped like giant elephant feet, and even just the first one can leave a massive crater in the ground. The final blow is powerful enough to shatter a truth-seeking ball, one of the toughest defenses in the entire series. Night Guy is the ultimate taijutsu move, the strongest technique a human can possibly use. When it starts, the user releases an enormous wave of blood vapor, which is basically every last drop of life energy left in their body. That energy takes the form of a massive red dragon, coiling around them like a living flame. Then they launch forward with such insane speed that the space around them literally warps. The final kick carries enough power to completely erase the opponent's body from existence. This technique reached legendary status during the battle between Might Guy and Madara Uchiha in the 4th Great Ninja War. At that point, Madara had become the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, basically an unstoppable god. Every attack thrown at him had failed. But when Guy opened the gate of death, the battlefield shook with raw energy. For the first time, Madara admitted he was actually being challenged. He couldn't dodge Guy's attacks. He had to stand there and take them, completely overwhelmed by the speed and force. Another, more tragic story comes from Might Dai, Guy's father. He was a Genin his whole life, never promoted, never famous. But when his son and his teammates were cornered by the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, Dai didn't hesitate. He opened the gate of death and took down 6 of the 7 legendary swordsmen all by himself. But his sacrifice wasn't just about power, it was a message. With enough willpower and love, even the so-called weakest ninja can rise up and do something legendary. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Academy. Let me take you all the way back to the true beginning, the humble life of an academy student. If being a ninja was like playing an RPG, this would be the tutorial level, except the enemies are math homework and kunai safety drills. Academy students are not official ninja. They're more like tiny warriors in training, learning everything from the history of the shinobi world to basic chakra control. And yes, they also study math, because apparently, even ninjas need to calculate explosive tag angles. Their day-to-day life is packed with practicing E-rank jutsu, like the clone technique and the transformation technique. The goal? Pass the graduation exam. But let me tell you, for someone like Naruto, even that was a massive hurdle. He couldn't even make a basic clone look alive. But in a twist that only makes sense in anime logic, he ended up graduating by pulling off the forbidden shadow clone jutsu. Yup, he failed upwards in the most Naruto way possible. Students also train with ninja tools. Kunai and shuriken aren't just for looking cool, they're deadly weapons, in the hands of someone who actually knows what they're doing. Most academy kids, not quite there yet. In emergencies, the village can call on them as backup. But let's be honest, if you're depending on a bunch of 10-year-olds to defend your village, things have already gone horribly wrong. Genin. Alright, so let's say you survived the academy, didn't accidentally stab your foot with a kunai, and passed the exam. Congratulations, you're now a Genin, which literally means low ninja. And yeah, it kind of feels that way. Genin are rookies. Imagine baby birds pushed out of the nest, except the nest is on fire and there's a war going on. Their job? Learn through real missions, usually D-rank stuff, like walking dogs, weeding gardens, or the classic find the lost cat. Not exactly heroic, unless you're the cat. Each Genin is placed into a 3-man team under the guidance of a Jonin sensei. This setup is pure genius. Take Naruto, loud, brash, and terrible at exams. Add Sasuke, the cool genius with a chip on his shoulder. Mix in Sakura, the smartest of the group, obsessed with Sasuke, and voila, Team 7. Chaos, drama, and somehow actual teamwork. Genin start with small missions, but some get C-rank gigs, like bodyguard jobs, or escorting merchants. These are the first real challenges. And let's not forget, the Land of Waves mission looked like a C rank, but spiraled into an A rank nightmare. So, mission rankings are more like suggestions. Skill levels vary like crazy. Naruto was barely keeping up. Meanwhile, prodigies like Neji and Sasuke made everything look easy. That gap makes Genin life both humbling and motivating. Eventually, Genin can apply for the Chunin Exams. This is where the fun stops. Written tests designed to make you cry, forest survival games, and one-on-one fights that could literally kill you. This isn't middle school dodgeball. It's full-on battlefield simulation. In Boruto's era, Genin deal with ninja tech. Sarada, for example, is already using Sharingan and leading missions like a veteran. Meanwhile, Boruto's flexing chakra-absorbing gadgets while still hating homework. Chunin. So, you've survived your first missions, faced death in the Chunin Exams, and didn't pass out from the pressure? Welcome to the Chunin rank, the big leagues of middle ninja, and the shinobi version of becoming a responsible adult. Sort of. Chunin are like the high school seniors of the ninja world. They've proven they can think clearly under pressure, lead a squad, and not explode themselves with their own jutsu. That last part, surprisingly common among Genin. The path to Chunin status is grueling. First, there's the infamous Chunin Exams. Phase 1. A written test where cheating is expected. Phase 2, Forest of Death. Spoiler alert, it's full of death. And then, the finals. One-on-one battles in front of a crowd. Injuries? Frequent. Permanent damage? Not uncommon. And don't get me started on Gaara. But passing isn't just about power. Shikamaru got promoted because of his tactical mind, even though he technically lost his fight. It was the most laid-back genius move in the series. Chunin take on tougher missions, C rank and B rank, where real planning matters. No more lost cat hunts. Now it's smuggling routes, intel recovery, or leading Genin teams into the field. It's the moment you realize you're now responsible for someone else not dying. Fun. Some Chunins also become teachers, like Iruka. He's proof that patience, heart, and a forehead protector can change lives. In Boruto, Chunin face new age threats, tech-enhanced enemies, rogue ninja with ports in their arms, and weird villains quoting philosophy mid-fight. Konohamaru steps up here, showing Chunin aren't just babysitters, they're frontliners now. Sarada is another example. Her Sharingan, strategy, and sense of duty make her feel like a mini Jonin already. The new generation levels up fast, and the Chunin title evolves with them. Becoming a Chunin marks a ninja's shift from learner to leader. It's where instincts meet experience. You stop asking, "Can I do this?" and start saying, "Let's move out," with or without a plan. Jonin. Now we're entering the big leagues. Jonin, or as I like to call them, the boss level shinobi. These guys don't just show up to fight, they show up to finish fights. Jonin are the elite warriors of any village. They've mastered multiple jutsu, have battle experience coming out of their ears, and basically live at A rank and S rank mission difficulty. If Genin are rookies and Chunin are leaders, Jonin are the living legends who do everything from spy work to battlefield control, and still have time to train kids who scream about becoming Hokage. Take Kakashi Hatake. He knows over 1,000 jutsu, can copy your technique, and still somehow finds time to read adult novels mid-battle. Then there's Might Guy, the man who turns taijutsu into a high-speed horror show. You blink, and he's already kicked you into next week. Jonin are trusted with solo missions that would crush lower-rank squads. They're the ones who sneak into enemy territory, steal secrets, or just straight-up eliminate a threat with no backup. And that's before lunch. They also serve a vital role as mentors. Kakashi guiding Team 7 wasn't just about teamwork. It was about helping a new generation survive, grow, and maybe not set the village on fire. Jonin choose when their students are ready for the Chunin exams. They don't hand out praise, they hand out survival strategies. Promotion to Jonin, not just about strength. It needs recognition from village leaders. The anime hints at a Jonin exam, but usually, it's all about proving you can handle it, mentally and physically. Jonin are the glue that holds the shinobi world together. They're the bridge between power and purpose. And whether they're leading a team or infiltrating a fortress, one thing's for sure. If you see a Jonin heading toward the battlefield, the smart move is to get out of their way. Tokubetsu Jonin. Okay, let's talk about the special Jonin, or as I like to call them, the specialists of the shinobi system. They're the kind of ninja who won't fight you in 10 ways. But in one very specific way, you're already dead. These shinobi have Jonin-level ability, but only in a single area. Think of them as the snipers or hackers of the ninja world. Hyper-skilled, hyper-focused. They're not out there spamming shadow clones or summoning giant animals. They're out there doing one thing and doing it perfectly. Take Ibiki Morino. His specialty? Interrogation. Trust me, if you end up in his room, you'll confess everything, including that time you stole a candy bar at age 5. He's a psychological weapon. Then there's Anko Mitarashi, a tracking expert with a snake contract and some seriously unhinged energy. If she's chasing you, well, don't bother running. Special Jonin operate between Chunin and full Jonin. They're often assigned niche missions: scouting terrain, handling surveillance, running recon, or training recruits. They're also the go-to folks when Jonin need backup for tasks outside their own expertise. In Boruto, we see characters like Konohamaru evolving into leadership roles with both combat and strategic strength. His skill set might be broader now, but his roots as a focused fighter and team guide still show. What makes Special Jonin stand out isn't just what they can do, it's what they don't need to do. They're not expected to handle everything. Just that one job nobody else can touch. Medical Nin. Let's give a shout out to the true lifesavers of the battlefield, the Medical Nin. These ninja don't throw fireballs or summon toads. They save lives. And occasionally bring people back from the brink of death like it's a Tuesday. Medical Nin specialize in healing jutsu, chakra control, and sheer battlefield awareness. They don't just patch wounds. They stabilize chakra networks, reset bones mid-fight, and prevent death with millimeter precision techniques. Try doing surgery while kunai are flying past your head. That's a Medical Nin's Tuesday. Tsunade created Creation Rebirth, the ultimate healing jutsu, Basically, you can punch her head off, and she'll grow another one while knocking you out. That's how scary medical expertise gets in Naruto. Sakura followed in her footsteps. She started as a Chunin, but trained into one of the strongest medical nin, mixing brute strength with surgical precision. Medical nin like Sakura are treating injuries caused by ninja tech, rogue Otsutsuki attacks, and experimental chakra weapons. Sarada's even picking up her mom's healing techniques, blending combat and care like a pro. Kage, now we've reached the summit, literally. Welcome to the world of the Kage, the highest authority in any hidden village, and usually the one standing on top of a mountain, both metaphorically and, in Konoha's case, literally carved into one. Each of the 5 great nations has its own Kage title: Hokage for the hidden leaf, Kazekage for the sand, Mizukage for the mist, Raikage for the cloud, and Tsuchikage for the stone. These are not just political figures. They're the strongest, most respected, and most stressed out individuals in the shinobi world. Becoming a Kage isn't like applying for a regular promotion. There's no resume, but there is a council of elders, feudal lords, and, occasionally, some chaos. Take Kakashi, for example. He became the 6th Hokage thanks to a personal request from Obito. No election needed, just vibes. And then we have Naruto, from class clown to savior of the world, and eventually the 7th Hokage, all while technically still holding the rank of Genin. That's right, he skipped every formal rank up and went straight from ramen-fueled teenager to world leader. Classic Naruto. So what does a Kage actually do? Everything. They oversee mission assignments, village defense, inter-village diplomacy, and yes, mountains of paperwork. You think Rasengan is hard? Try tax codes. But when real danger hits, like an Otsutsuki invasion or Kara's terrorist group dropping god-tier tech, the Kage don't sit behind desks. They lead from the front. Naruto, for example, personally threw hands with Momoshiki and Ishiki while also being a full-time dad and running a bureaucracy. Talk about multitasking. There's also the Jinchuriki connection. Many Kage are tied to tailed beasts, either by blood, legacy, or burden. Gaara, the 5th Kazekage, was a Jinchuriki and the son of the 4th. These bonds often solidify the village's strength, at least until someone tries to kidnap them every other Tuesday. The Kage system in Boruto is more global. The 5 villages now cooperate to deal with shared threats, forming a council of sorts. It's like the ninja version of the UN, except with less talking and more lightning-charged fists. At their core, Kage represent not just power, but vision, the ideals, hopes, and future of their people. And sometimes, they just want a peaceful day without someone blowing up the front gate. Anbu route. Alright, now let's pull back the curtain and take a peek into the shadows. Welcome to the ANBU Black Ops, the ninja world's answer to Black Ops commandos with emotional trauma and cooler masks. ANBU isn't a rank, it's a unit. Think of it as the dark mirror to the regular ninja forces. If Jonin are elite soldiers, ANBU are silent ghosts. They answer directly to the Kage and take on missions that never make it into official records: espionage, assassination, surveillance, and cleanup jobs. You know, light stuff. There's no clear ranking system inside ANBU. It's all based on skill and experience. Captains are usually the most dangerous people in the room, if you can even see them in the room. Some recruits join as early as age 13, unless you're Itachi Uchiha, who joined at 11, because of course he did. Overachiever. Each member wears a signature animal-themed mask to hide their identity and uses code names during missions. These aren't just for show, they detach emotion from duty. When you're told to eliminate a threat, even if that threat used to be your comrade, you do it without hesitation. Kakashi spent years in the ANBU after losing his friends, and it changed him. He became colder, more distant. Eventually, he left the unit, realizing that staying human was more important than becoming a perfect tool. Then we have